how your first year as president of the college has been.
It's been a very busy, action-packed year, Alex. It's, as I said earlier to you, I looked up and it was Christmas, and then I looked up and it was graduation. And now I look up and it's time for another school year to begin. What has been fun is to get to know all of the players both here at the college as well as in Caldwell, as well as in Boise, and then to get to know all of our alumni. I made 274 visits, face-to-face visits, which includes both locally as well as all over the country. And so that was, my suitcase got a lot of time on the plane. And as well, I got to know an awful lot of people who are so passionate about this college. And that just was so much fun and so energizing for me. And then to get to know the students. Indeed, perhaps the best time I got to know the students was on our trip to China with the choir, when I got to sit next to them on the tour bus. But whenever I ran into students, whether it was at that point or at a game or at a theater event, I was so impressed with the quality of our students, with their thoughtfulness, and just their general energy for C of I education.
I understand you have some construction projects that are underway. Can you tell us about those?
That's the exciting part about the end of last year and this year. We were incredibly fortunate to land one gift that will pay for the construction of a brand new library, state-of-the-art library. And the Cruz and Murray Library, named for Debbie Cruz and Murray, will be finished, we hope, by December of 17, January of 18 is when we're planning on moving in. It is to be state-of-the-art digitally. It will be, it will have books. People sometimes ask me, will the library have books? And the answer is, of course. But it will also be a real learning center. And what's been fun so far is to not only look at the beautiful architecture that is planned, and it's planned with an Idaho aesthetic. And that is to say, elegant, but with wood and natural earth tones that are just beautiful and calming and will let lots of light in. But perhaps even more important than all of that is the idea that we're going to equip it so that students can collaborate together, they can do high-intensive projects together, so that they can study if they want to all by themselves. But it will all be there for them. So we broke ground on that in late February, and now the hole got dug and the basement foundations have been laid, and now they're beginning the slow process of getting the foundation in place. We're told that by this December, they'll have a roof on it. They'll be doing lots of work inside, obviously. But everybody in Caldwell will be able to drive down Cleveland Boulevard and see it really is going to be a library. It just takes a long time for all of that shape to emerge. The second big project is one with our residence halls. And we have some beautiful historic buildings on campus. This one that we're sitting in, Sterry, where the administration is located, but then on either side of us is Voorhees Hall and Finney Hall, which were built very shortly after this one was built and have served us well, generally serving as residence halls. And they've been updated over the years, but they needed some real love and attention. So we are spending about $3.4 to $3.6 million per residence hall to completely renovate them for the 21st century and to keep their historic nature. We're also hoping, after that we'll pause and see if we have the enrollment necessary to build a third dormitory, a third residence hall that would be across campus. And that would be an 89-bed suite style. So that whole thing is $17 million. But we're confident, we're so confident in how the college is doing that these are necessary additions and renovations for all of us. So it's so exciting to see what can happen, what's going to be done, to be all excited about some of the stuff that's actually been found in Voorhees, now that they're doing Voorhees. We have found old football cleats and somebody's mother's cookbook that was stashed away somewhere, and an old football program from 1928 when College of Idaho played Willamette. And the heaviest man on the team weighed 190 and was called Chubbs.
What are some academic developments you'd like the community to be aware of?
Well, we are actively talking about how we can provide additional degree options for some of our students consistent with our liberal arts mission. We are doing strategic planning, and we are firmly committed to the long-term evolution of this school as a liberal arts college. Nonetheless, that doesn't mean that we can't offer some selected graduate programs. We already have a very, very successful one in education. But we're also talking about developing one that would be a master's in accounting. We have a 5-year accounting degree that gives you a bachelor's degree, but it makes much more sense to convert that to a master's degree. And then our students could sit for the CPA exam. And then also we're developing one in sports management. So those two have come along so far. We're looking at other options as well as more fully developing some of our online options for summer courses, because we have the demand for it. Our students often want to take a course to catch up or to get ahead, and we feel we offer the best. And so if we're going to do online, it has to be a C of I online course, not just anybody's. So we're actively developing all of that, and excited about where we're going with all of these academic options.
And what are some of your goals for this academic year?
Well, one of them I've already alluded to, and that is our strategic planning initiative. Every college does strategic planning, and honestly, I got my start as an administrator being sort of caught up in my university's strategic planning exercises. And people will say to you, as I would have a number of years ago, oh, why are we doing this? Because it's only going to wind up on a shelf. That's not what I want with this. We actually have an opportunity. We're at a point, I think a pivotal point in the C of I's history, where we need to think, we need to be future-minded, we need to be planful about it, and good strategic planning actually involves thinking how you match resources along with your vision. So this last year I led the college, and everybody agreed on 5 values that the college holds as its 5 top values. And now we're in the midst, we've developed some vision statements that the community will take a look at, and I ratify something along either one of them. And then we'll begin fleshing out a real strategic planning document that I want to have done by graduation of 2017, which will then set a blueprint for where we want to go for the next 6 years. And it will include, I think, some ambitious goals. One of our trustees who are on the committee have said, if it's not scary, then it's not worth doing, which I would agree with. So we're going to set some optimistic goals for ourselves, for what we want. I would say the number one thing that everybody in this community, and I mean the college community, wants is to have us recognized as one of the top 5 liberal arts colleges in the Northwest. We think we're there, but we want that affirmation that everybody does recognize us instead of being this hidden gem. And I tell people we can't use the word hidden anymore. So that's my aim for this year. It's actually a big kind of goal that will then help set the pace for the next 5 to 6 years.
Okay. Well, that's our time. Thank you for talking with me on that.
Well, thank you. I really love collaborating also with the city of Caldwell. We're trying to work together to build a track, and we're hopeful that may be something we hope comes out of this next year as well. So there's lots of great stuff going on, so we're excited.